Hi, this is Jim here again from the Home Buyers Network Australia, and this is number two in our series of why you should choose us to help you with your financial plan. So, look, I mentioned in video one what true wealth is, and I'll just remind you of it again. True wealth is the ability to live the life you dream about before you get out of bed in the morning. You've got to learn how to make money while you sleep. The only way you can do that is to get debt gone from your life for good. Now, debt can only be removed with a truly concerted effort, and it's got to be you and your family involved in it. Now, you watched, or I hope you watched, Phil and Janice's video that we sent you in the first contact we made from our Facebook advertising. And you might be wondering how they got 10 properties in 10 years and how they spent the last decade diligently paying them off. As I mentioned before, they could have nearly 5 properties paid off in 30 years. How the bloody hell did they do that? Seriously, it's a big question I get, and I'm sure Phil gets over his life from his workmates as well. But all we gave them a roadmap and they followed it. It's a really simple thing they've got to do, and you've got to do. And you've got to budget debt away and then look at the tax that you're currently sending to Canberra, as I mentioned in video one, how we can get that built into your investments. So watch it here if you missed it again. The video, click the link right here and you'll see it again. But I want you to look at the nuts and bolts of how they actually got rid of debt. It's really not that difficult, but it's so simple. Most people miss it. So let's get a very quick look at what they did. You see, this is what happens when banks lend you money, right? Banks charge you daily interest. So you pay it monthly and they charge you interest daily. Sound like a good deal for them? And that's how they make their money. But let's say you take out a loan on your first home. Let's look at your own home, not investment debt just yet. And the interest rate is, say, 3.2. It's a normal principal and interest monthly bank loan, and you've taken it over 30 years, and your monthly repayments would be $1,946. So over that 30-year term, you'd pay back 450 that you borrowed, plus the 250, 596 in interest repayments, taking your total repayments to 750,000. Now remember, you only borrowed 450 and you're going to give them back 750. Can I have a deal like that? Would you do that if I asked you? I bet if they showed you those figures up front that you'd question it a bit more. Would I be true in saying that? So here's some of the ideas we show you if you join us. Simple rule number one is pay more often. Now, let's look if you paid the same amount per month, but paid the 1946, divide that by 2, and pay it every 14th day. Now, I didn't say twice monthly, I said every 14th day. So every month, you're 2 days ahead. Every year, you're 24 days ahead. Now, that mightn't sound much, but over a 10-year period, you're 240 days ahead. And remember, you're chipping away at those days that you don't now have to pay the bank interest. So let's look at it, right? If you just paid no more money, but paid the 1946 divided by 2 every 14th day, you would pay your house off in 26 and a half years and save 34,437 of your money, right? Now, that is really important and it's cost you nothing to do that. All you've done is just use one simple little hack that we're going to show you many of. That's the simplest one that I can share with you here. But you've got to join us if I'm going to share everything that we've learned over our 40-year journey. But let's have a look at how Phil and Janice really got stuck into it, right? What if you paid an extra $100 per week, right? You'd have the loan paid off in 20 years now, saving you $86,339 of your money. What if you paid $200 per week extra? That would mean you would pay your home loan off rather than 30 years in 13.7 years, saving 126,286 of your money. Have I got your attention right now? You've just paid off a 30-year loan in 13.7 years, and now the $1,946 per month that was going to the bank, now you can keep yourself, right? Now, most people would go out and spend it on lifestyle. If you want to retire rich, what about if you put that 1946 into your first investment property loan? What if you kept paying the extra money? Can you see now how Phil and Janice, as they pay back each home, that they've got their own homes now out of the way, now they're using the positive cash flow from the rental properties that we found them to now attack, or did attack, mortgage two, their first investment property. That was gone in like 6 or 7 years. The next one's gone in 4 or 5 years. The next one's gone in 3 years. The next one, do the math. They can get, it's a massive debt reduction program. You need investment properties to fund the other debt reduction schedules, and I'll show you that how it works. But this is a way I want to show you right now how you could get out of debt on your own home. Now, right now you're thinking, well, where am I going to find that sort of money? That's stupid. I'm struggling now. How am I going to find an extra 100 or even, as you said, 200? That would be ridiculous. All we did was show Phil and Janice a little budget hack, and it started, I know this is dated now, but it works better than all of your computer programs and all the things you do with your phone and everything. I've got all of those as well, and we show you how to use them. But we started Phil with a simple little Spirax notebook. He put it in his top pocket. That's why his company's called Top Pocket Real Estate, or Top Pocket Investments. If you meet him on the phone, he's a great guy, and Janice is just beautiful. So we got them to write down everything they spent their money on every day, no exceptions. Now, did it work? No. For the first 10 days, 2 weeks, they got sick of it. Oh, look, we went here, but that's a once off. We won't put that in. Jim won't mind. Jim won't mind. So first month, I have to tell you, they failed. We didn't give them enough reasons to say yes. On the second month, they started to get the idea of how this was all going to work. So they started to write down everything that they spent. No fights, no recriminations. I know you've got to get your hair done, and how come those jeans cost you 180? You can buy them the same thing for 60. All of those went out the door. It isn't whether you spent the money on what you spent it. It's whether or not you spent it on the right things. And each month we had a look at where their money was going. Then we asked them the simple question: was that money you spent there, jeans, coffee, going out, hairdressing, all of that, was that more important than getting out of debt? And now all of a sudden, Phil and Janice realized that they had a choice to make, a choice to get rich or a choice to keep up with the Joneses. They chose rich. Now, here's a major point I want to make to you. Wealth is a decision. It doesn't happen by luck. You're not going to win lotto. I've got bad news for you. Nobody at your 65th birthday is going to touch you on the shoulder and say, gee, you've been good people. Here's a couple of mil to keep you over in your old age. It's just simply not going to happen. You have the opportunity right now to make a decision whether or not you want to get rich. And it is a decision that you control. No one else, just you. Take responsibility for it. Now, once they had made that decision to take responsibility for their spending habits, and whether or not Susie's ballerina lessons or, young Timmy's, trumpet lessons were more important than paying off debt and getting rich, then they started to make the right decisions. Then we showed them how to swap their tax for property portfolios. And what followed was the plan that we built them. If they followed to the rule, which they did, they built a debt-free multi-million-dollar property portfolio. Now, once you're out of debt, just to let you know some of the benefits, does it matter if interest rates go to 50%, 100%? Does it matter if everything crashes? Does it matter? You are bulletproof because you have no debt. Does that make sense? Then we show you how to get a 30% pay rise and start to swap your tax to build that property portfolio, and then you can go it. So if you want to know how to do your individual plan, I'm going to keep sending you these emails just to keep you active on what our thoughts are, and I hope that you'll contact us. But simply email kate@fhbna.com.au and book in for a one-on-one meeting with us, and we're going to start this plan initially to get debt out of your life. And then we're going to show you how to start building a multi-million-dollar property portfolio. But you can't do one without the other. If you take off and start building a property portfolio and you haven't understood how debt works, 40 years have shown us that generally it doesn't work. Debt is the key. So you've got to do it now, because what we've noticed, the only people who we've seen that have made money out of the property, investing in property, are the ones brave enough to do it. Are you one of them? And that's what you've got to make a decision. So we'll talk very soon, I hope, and I look forward to starting you on your debt-free multi-million-dollar property portfolio. Thank you.